Sports Scene, Hampton Road's premier interview show with Greg Bicouvaris, each Saturday from 10 a.m. to 11.
And you look at that, 4-4 at home, which is just average, 4-3-1 on the road. I mean, you're not going to win any games like that. They were not the same team after they beat the Packers, yet the Packers were a totally different team.
Interact with Sports Scene on Twitter @GregBic and listen weekly as Greg interviews distinguished guests with excellent commentary and insight. Sports Scene, Saturdays at 10 a.m. on the Lighthouse 100.1 FM. Good Italian food, daily specials, and a place people enjoy is Spaghetti-Etti's. Indulge in their mouth-watering pizza, pasta, subs, salads, appetizers, and desserts. Open 7 days a week. Log on to SpaghettiEtti'sPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Taylor Road in Chesapeake for lunch or dinner, and like them on Facebook. Italian food you can count on is Spaghetti-Etti's. From Chesapeake, Virginia, the Lighthouse 100.1 presents Sports Scene. Sports Scene features local, regional, and nationally acclaimed guests and excellent interviews. Follow Sports Scene on Twitter @GregBic. Now here is Greg Bicouvaris.
Sports Scene midweek online and Saturday on the radio from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. on 100.1 FM, 1010 a.m. The Lighthouse, and tunein.com by typing WPMH in the search box Saturday morning, 10 to 11. Sports Scene is an interview show. Also watch sports highlights on nnpstv.com. Greg Bicouvaris along with Joe Daniel each Saturday right here for Sports Scene. Tell your friends about gjbtv.com and click the YouTube link on the homepage for archived audio and video. Twitter @GregBic, and you can see the rest of my Twitter handles on gjbtv.com in the contact section. Thank you to our military for what you do. Guest lineup presented by Outback Steakhouse in Kempsville. Sponsors on gjbtv.com, marketplace sponsors, and Hampton Roads onlinemall.com. Phone line presented by the Newport News Greek Festival, May 31st to June 3rd. For more, go to newportnewsgreekfestival.org. Show presented by hrsmhof.com with the big ceremony May the 12th. Final Four coming up this weekend. Great interviews, business segments, highlights, commentary, what teased me off. Thank you for making the habit to listen to Sports Scene weekly, and we love our regulars and newcomers as well, including our good friends at Craft 17, 1706 Mediterranean Avenue in Virginia Beach. Go by and see Jamie and the wonderful staff. Great hospitality, excellent appetizers like fried house pickles, the Wagyu burgers, the pepper, the shroom, the sunrise, build your own burger, excellent toppings, Carolina snap dogs, chicken sandwiches, salads, vegan burgers, house-cut fries, beer battered onion rings at 1706 Mediterranean Avenue in Virginia Beach. Summer's coming up. Spend it at Craft 17. Stay tuned.
This is Chaplain Gene Sayre of the Hampton Roads Regional Jail. Roughly 2.8% of American adults are under some form of correctional supervision. The Chaplain's Ministry of the Hampton Roads Regional Jail will be celebrating what Christ is doing at their annual fundraising banquet on Monday, April 23rd. Table reservations must be made no later than April 13th. To reserve your spot or sponsor a table, contact the Chaplain's office at 217-2613. God is changing lives of inmates.
Are you ready? Ready for spiritual inventory? Ready to strengthen your grip on the gospel? Ready to articulate your faith with clarity that in Jesus Christ alone exists the power of salvation? May I suggest a tool? Dr. Robert Jeffress has written a book for the defense of your faith entitled Not All Roads Lead to Heaven. It's in the Shop with Praise bookstore now, so come on in and pick up your copy for just $5 or call 488-1010. That's the Shop with Praise bookstore at 488-1010.
Good Italian food, daily specials, and a place people enjoy is Spaghetti-Etti's. Indulge in their mouth-watering pizza, pasta, subs, salads, appetizers, and desserts. Open 7 days a week. Log on to SpaghettiEtti'sPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Taylor Road in Chesapeake for lunch or dinner, and like them on Facebook. Italian food you can count on is Spaghetti-Etti's. Catch up on archived editions of Sports Scene by going to gjbtv.com and clicking the YouTube image on the homepage. Now back to Sports Scene with Greg Bicouvaris.
And welcome back to Sports Scene. Sports Scene is presented by CP Shuckers, locals tradition on Shore Drive, Pacific Avenue. People love their delicious food, great appetizers, steak bites, sandwiches, burgers, all the games on TV. Go by and see Matt and Mark and all the great chefs at CP Shuckers in Virginia Beach. Great place to kick back and relax. I've had this gentleman on Sports Scene for several years. He's been part of the Virginia Tech family for several decades as a football player and as a broadcaster. Let's welcome back Mike Burnop. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well, Greg. Good to be back with you.
Very good. It was good to see you against the Louisville game back in February as well.
Yeah, it was. It was nice to have CBS in the house for a basketball game. That's the first time ever, so that was pretty cool.
That really was a great event as well. Well, let's pick up right there from the men's basketball team. That game was not a great game for the Hokies, but overall they made the NCAA tournament. They lost in the first round to Alabama. How would you evaluate this past season?
Well, I think it was kind of up and down. I mean, it was very volatile, like Buzz kept talking about from day one. I think the ACC in general was just kind of a league where on any given night anybody could beat anybody. And so when you look at the way the Hokies went through the season, and, you know, they beat UVA at UVA after getting pounded at home by the same team. It was a pretty remarkable win because they were 2 at the time, ended up being number 1 on that Monday. They beat number 5 Duke, they beat number 10 Carolina, number 15 Clemson, but then they lose to Louisville 2 different times, you know. So it was kind of up and down, one of those things. I think it was disappointing the way it ended in terms of the fact that they lost 3 in a row and 4 of 5. So, yeah, and they were 1 and done in the ACC tournament, 1 and done in the NCAA tournament. So a little bit of a disappointing end, but clearly Buzz has got them going in the right direction, and I know they're looking forward to getting going next year and having maybe a little more height and a little more depth.
We're talking to Mike Burnop right here on Sports Scene. He is the radio analyst for Virginia Tech football and basketball. Always a pleasure to chat with him. But you look at the regular season, to me, it's all about getting to the postseason with the ACC tournament, the NCAA tournament, or the NIT. Virginia had a great regular season, but under Bennett's tenure, they've had a lot of transfers. People don't talk about that much, and they don't evolve in the NCAA tournament. Then you see a team like Syracuse who had a decent regular season, but it had a very good postseason. So to me, it's still about evolving in the postseason.
Well, that's how people remember you clearly, is how you do in the ACC tournament, but more so how you do in the NCAA tournament if you make it. And a lot of people felt like Syracuse was on the bubble, right? I mean, they were kind of lucky to get in the tournament, and then they make this remarkable run with 7 players, basically, because Coach Boeheim didn't have a lot of depth and didn't play a lot of people. But that zone defense is just hard to figure out. You know, Tony Bennett, that's one of those things. I mean, I think he's a great coach, and you talk about some serious class after losing that game to up there in the NCAA tournament when a 16 beat a 1. I felt great for Ryan Odom, who was a former assistant here at Virginia Tech, that he won and got that team, put them on the map. But for Tony to come out there and have such class after that game, just kind of tell it like it was, that was pretty cool. But they had a heck of a year, heck of a run, only lost 3 games, and I'm sure they'll be hungry and motivated next year.
What about Buzz, and is he excited about the future?
I think he is, yeah. He, you know, they won 20 games again, and they won 10 in the league again. So I think it's obviously a question of can he take the next step. Hadim C is back after leaving last year, so that'll help out in the terms of having some more size inside with Kerry Blackshear, because when KJ got in foul trouble, you know, you got to go to P.J. Horn, who was a true freshman and not very tall and didn't have a lot of meat on his bones. So I think the dream, having C back, will certainly help matters. And, you know, I think the recruiting class has been good, and having Ty Outlaw come back after having the knee injury, he can certainly stretch the defense with a 3-point ability. So I think they're excited about next year, absolutely.
Very good talking to Mike Burnop right here. Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us on Sports Scene every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 on tunein.com. Type in WPMH and locally in Hampton Roads on 100.1 FM, 1010 AM. Always a pleasure to talk to Mike. And, of course, the women's basketball team did very well making the WNIT.
Yeah, had a nice run in the WNIT, and congratulations to Kenny Brooks. He's got them going in the right direction as well. I mean, they had to kind of adjust on the fly, too, when Jeanette Hicks left the team, midway through the ACC season, so they really kind of had to reinvent themselves, and so to go on a nice run that they had was certainly encouraging, and I know they're looking forward to the future as well. They've got some good parts coming in and some good kids coming back, and Reagan McGarrett is just a beast inside, so I think the future is very bright for the women's program as well.
And overall, the ACC as well. They did very well for the men's in the NCAA tournament, and the women did as well. So the ACC continues to be a trend. I remember Coach Boeheim was talking about how the Big East is so many different ACC teams like Miami and Boston College and yourself, and you can go on and on and on with the former Big East teams too. Louisville was a Big East team, correct? There was just so many Big East teams now in the ACC doing well.
Yeah, no doubt, and you just think about it, and it's pretty cool in that regard. And Villanova, throw them in the bunch as well. And so what a year they've had under Jay Wright, just a tremendous team, and really looking forward to that, to see how that thing ends up. So, yeah, the ACC is really good. Having 9 teams in the tournament, it's unfortunate none of them are in the Final Four, but that game with Duke the other day just went down to the wire, and Grayson Allen's shot just barely rolled off, or it could have been a different scenario. So it's funny how teams get hot. Just look at Loyola, how they get hot at the right time and can make waves in the tournament. It's pretty cool. What a unbelievable March Madness tournament it's been.
I don't know if fans around the country, when they see Boeheim, who made the Final Four a few years ago, and of course he won a national championship with Carmelo, realize this is almost Paterno-like what's going on in a positive way, that this guy has been here since over 40-plus years at one school. He pretty much keeps things the same. His former players are his assistants for the most part. And, HBO's doing a big show on Paterno, of course, in Penn State, and, kind of the rise and the fall. But, Paterno was there for so long, from 1950 to 2011. But you can say the same thing about Boeheim with that type of stature in a positive way. It demands a lot of polarizing attention.
Yeah, no doubt. And not only that, Greg, but think about the dean of those coaches in the ACC. You got Boeheim, and think about Coach K, the run he's had in as many years as he's been at Duke, and think about Roy Williams at Carolina. I mean, it's been amazing to think of what eventually is going to happen in this league. I mean, who's going to take over for those guys, and how much longer are they going to coach? And you got all those Hall of Fame coaches there, and it's like, who's going to be the next wave? Who's going to take it over? And so the future's it's incredibly bright for the ACC, but you kind of wonder how much longer those icons are going to be around, how much longer they'll coach, and who will take over for them when they do leave.
Yeah, we already saw one leave already who exited out of not of his own doing, but Rick Pitino at Louisville, who was also at Kentucky for so long, and Providence and the Knicks. But, yeah, I mean, that was kind of funny when you saw Boeheim and Coach K. Not many people have been at one school longer than Coach K, but Boeheim actually has.
Yeah, how about that? Wasn't that pretty cool?
Yes, very good.
Guys coached at the national level as well, so good friends, and tough way to lose, but especially when you got both guys playing the same zone defense, that was pretty cool.
All right, before we talk about the fall of 2018 football season, let's talk about the spring season coming up. A 9-4 record, lost in a bowl game, but what is your thoughts going into the spring? There's always injuries, there's always transfers, and there's always graduation. What are your thoughts about spring ball?
Well, it's going well so far. I think they moved it up kind of a week, so the spring game's actually going to be on April 14th, which is a week earlier than normal. It gives them a little chance to get out and do a little more recruiting at the end of the month. But I think it's been going well. I mean, there is a lot of guys injured and hurt and are out, so that just gives an opportunity for some of the younger guys to step in and try to play. I think the big question mark and the big key this year is going to be who's going to fill all those holes and spots on the defense, because they took a hit without a doubt. When you think about the 3 underclassmen that left, both Edmonds brothers, Terrell and Tremaine, they leave, and Tim Settle left early. Not to mention the fact that you graduated Stroman and Faison and Shagog, and there was a lot of holes on defense you got to fill. So I think that's the real question mark, that you do not have a senior linebacker or a junior linebacker. So I think that's the real question. Who's going to fill in and take those holes?
We'll come back. We'll take a short break. We'll come back and get Mike's thoughts on how the 2017 season ended, and, of course, looking ahead to 2018 with a couple local tie-ins right here from Hampton Roads. Stay tuned.
Good Italian food, daily specials, and a place people enjoy is Spaghetti-Etti's. Indulge in their mouth-watering pizza, pasta, subs, salads, appetizers, and desserts. Open 7 days a week. Log on to SpaghettiEtti'sPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Taylor Road in Chesapeake for lunch or dinner, and like them on Facebook. Italian food you can count on is Spaghetti-Etti's.
Jim Daly, president and CEO of Focus on the Family, came from a childhood of turmoil. Yet he managed to put into practice and onto paper how to be a better father. Jim Daly's book, The Good Dad, will tell you it's never too late to be a better father. And it's available in our Shop with Praise bookstore for just $3. Discover ways to be a great dad in spite of your mistakes, maybe even because of them. Call the Shop with Praise bookstore at 488-1010 for more information about how to get this book and others. That's 488-1010 and Shop with Praise.
Does paperwork keep piling up on your desk? Projects not getting done? Worried on how you'll make it without an assistant? Call Diversified Strategies at 201-3091. They will assist with accounting, call management, bill pay, and invoicing. They provide you with a full administrative staff at a fraction of the cost. Visit divstrategies.com. Let Diversified Strategies take care of all that extra work so you can do what you do best. Call now at 757-201-3091.
Are you or a loved one turning or about to turn 65? Then now's the time to start thinking about your healthcare needs, specifically Medicare. If you're new to Medicare, there are a lot of options to choose from, and the whole process can be confusing. But the licensed insurance agents at Easy Medicare can help you find the right Medicare plan based on your budget and healthcare needs. Call Easy Medicare today and they'll guide you through the process. Whether you're completely new to it all or looking to improve on an existing Medicare Advantage or Medicare Supplement plan, Easy Medicare can help you find a plan that best suits you and your healthcare needs. Visit easymedicare.com/radio. EasyMedicare.com is a non-government site. It is an affiliate of eTelequote Insurance, Inc., a private licensed representative of Medicare insurance organizations with a Medicare contract. Sales agents may be compensated based on your enrollment in a health plan. Receiving quotes through our website and from our licensed insurance agents is always free, and you're under no obligation to purchase any services.
800-647-1152. 800-647-1152. That's 800-647-1152.
Interact with Sports Scene on Twitter at Greg Bick. Email bicogb@hotmail.com. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris in the Hampton Roads OnlineMall.com studios.
Welcome back to Sports Scene, presented by our good friends at Panera. All items 100% clean. They deliver. Also, great catering. Take advantage of the rapid pickup option. Soups, sandwiches, salads, bagels, bread, smoothies, breakfast sandwiches. They have it all at Panera. Excellent desserts, refreshing beverages. Go by and see Brian and the staff. PaneraBread.com. Food as it should be. Visit them right there in Suffolk at 6255 College Drive in Harborview. Give them a call at 483-3670. Open 7 days a week. Your place is Panera Bread. Talking to Mike Burnop, the radio analyst for Virginia Tech in football and basketball. How's Coach Beamer's health doing?
Coach Beamer's doing really well. He's been out and about. He speaks a lot, different organizations and functions, and they're spending quite a bit of time, obviously, down at the lake where they have a house in Lake Oconee, and they're also spending a lot of time at Oklahoma now because Shane, as you know, Shane Beamer left Georgia and went to Oklahoma, and so Cheryl, his wife, really loves his grandkids, so they spend quite a bit of time at Oklahoma as well.
Very nice.
Doing well.
Yeah, he was good friends with Coach Friedgen for a long time at Maryland.
Yeah, and they got a house together down there, not together, but same area. A bunch of coaches do. Bruce Arians, one of my backup former quarterbacks here at Tech, he was in town last week, and he's got a house there. Ben Roethlisberger, a bunch of coaches do. Yeah, that's a great place. If you love to play golf, I think there's 5 or 6 golf courses there, so they have a good time.
Yeah, I've been to Stone Mountain, not too far away. Really great place there as well in the Georgia area. What about Coach Arians? What are your thoughts about him? Of course, he had a lot of Virginia Tech roots. Is that it for him for coaching? Is he done?
Yeah, I think it is it for him. He's looking forward to the next phase, and He has met with CBS. He's met with Fox and the NFL Network. He is sure going to get an offer from somebody. What he would like to do is get back in the booth and see what he can conjure up. But I think you'll see him somewhere next fall. I think ideally what he would like to do is work Thursday night games so he could have his weekends free, because he said, I'd love to come up here and watch the Hokies play. So we'll see how it comes out. They're negotiations now, and some will probably develop here in the next few weeks.
Yeah, always fun during the offseason and intriguing as well. Well, the Hokies and Justin Fuente went 9-4 last year. They made a bowl. Disappointing loss, but overall they beat West Virginia. They beat Virginia. They beat Pitt. They beat North Carolina. But overall, 2017 had been a pretty solid season. It
was. I think, when you're looking and going up to FedEx Field and getting that win against West Virginia, it kind of set the tone for the season. I think when you look at Bud Foster, his defense had 3 shutouts. That was pretty cool, especially when you got one against Virginia, playing that game there after Thanksgiving on a Friday night in Charlottesville when everybody thought UVA had their best shot to get the Hokies. And so that was kind of cool. Oklahoma State in the Camping World Bowl was a little bit of a disappointment, but that team was really good, and I knew it was going to be a tough matchup just because of the way they played fast and the way the offenses are in that conference, that they were going to have a hard time keeping up with them and scoring enough points to beat them, which kind of proved to be the point. I think the one loss that kind of got to them that made them really the most angry was the Georgia Tech game, because they had lost back-to-back games under Coach Fuente since he'd been here, and then they'd gotten beat the week before at Miami and then went on the road Georgia Tech and just did not play well for whatever reason. They'd come off of these primetime games and had a noon kickoff and just did not play well, lost. That's always a tough matchup, playing that goofy offense. But that was the one that kind of stuck to them a little bit, and they'll get Georgia Tech back this year on a Thursday night, so that'll be kind of fun. But, yeah, I know Josh Jackson, probably played as well as he could as a true freshman. He did a nice job.
Very good. Talking to Mike Burnop, Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us. 100.1 FM, 1010 AM, The Lighthouse, tunein.com. Type in WPMH every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 at Greg Bick on Twitter. Well, 2018 is right around the corner, too, about 6 months away. And, of course, kind of an interesting showcase first game, Labor Day kind of weekend at Florida State, but no Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting. It should be fun. It's going to be hot and humid down there, obviously, so that's going to be a challenge, obviously. But I think everybody's really looking forward to it. Primetime Monday Night Football, and it's going to be tough to have a quick turnaround and play William and Mary on Saturday. The one time that happened in the past, I don't need to remind the Hokie fans about it, but Boise State, and then you go back and you lose to JMU. So, yeah, it will be difficult, but if you're going to play them, maybe that's a good time to play them in their first game. Everybody will be excited with their new coach and a new day in Tallahassee. And so we'll see. I think I didn't mean to say Josh was a true freshman. He was a true freshman terms last year as far as playing. He was a redshirt, but it's the first year he played. So I want to correct the record there for that. But Josh will, in all likelihood, be the starting quarterback, although there is good competition there at that spot this spring and will be this fall when Quincy Patterson comes in.
Yeah, you mentioned that quick turnaround. That's never going to be easy because they'll be getting back early Tuesday morning and then basically going to have to get some sleep in, and then get ready for William Mary. Jimmy Laycock will be in his 39th year.
Yeah, how about that? And yeah, it is a quick turnaround. You got to give him a day off, too, so really the preparation is going to be minimal. Mm-hmm. So you just kind of have to play. You just hope you kind of play off the home crowd and all that sort of thing, the first home game. So it'll be one of those things, and it's just one of the it was interesting, Greg, because talking to Coach Fuente, the ACC asked Virginia Tech if they wanted to play in the game, and they asked Florida State if they wanted to play in the game, right? So neither one of them said that they wanted to play in the game, but they said, well, too bad you're playing in the game. So it didn't matter what they really thought. They're playing anyway. So it'll be a challenge for both teams, obviously, to open up the season like that, and somebody's going to have a loss right out of the gate.
And that's the thing I don't really like, too, Mike, is there's always hype for that first game, and then there's a letdown. You saw it happen several years ago. The fans are always into that first game because they're off of vacation and stuff, and the euphoria, the national TV, and once that settles, it's hard to settle, but these kids are 18 to 22 years old.
Yeah, and whoever gets beat, it's devastating. I mean, look what happened to Florida State last year. Right, they were ranked third in the preseason, Alabama, You go down there and you get hammered in the game. You lose your quarterback, and then that team was never the same. Struggled to even be bowl eligible. They lose Jimbo. He goes away. I mean, it just was a devastating loss for them. So that's what the downside is. Plus, it's a Monday night game, so, they've started the season, the Thursday night games and the Friday and the Saturdays. I mean, college football's rocking and rolling at that time, but the team that loses that game, you got to put your rally cap on for that next one, because the season could go south fast.
And not to mention 4 games to open up the season in 19 days. Think about it. The 3rd at Florida State, the 8th against William & Mary, the 15th against East Carolina, the 22nd here in Norfolk against Old Dominion. And let me talk about that. That's a very unique situation where there's a lot more Tech fans still down here than there are Old Dominion fans, because Tech's been around for decades. Old Dominion is still fairly new to football in its 10th year coming back, and they play in a pretty much like a high school facility, only seating about 20 to 21,000 people. It'll be a little bit more renovated this year, but it's an old facility. The turf is nice, but there's tons of Hokie fans down here, and I got to wonder, will it really be a home crowd for Old Dominion?
That's a good question. There are so many Hokie fans down in the 757, and obviously an opportunity for them not have to drive to Blacksburg. So that should be an incredible crowd and a very difficult ticket to get. And obviously the Hokies kind of handled Old Dominion last year. It was a team that was pretty young after having the tremendous year the year before. So it should be fun. I mean, they hung in there well last year. I think the Hokies didn't get a touchdown until, 6 minutes left till in the second quarter. And so, yeah, I'm sure that'll be a tough game, tough matchup, and look forward to going down there, though, playing in that area. I haven't been down to that field since, Virginia Tech played Temple in the old Oyster Bowl way back in the day, when Bruce Arians was the head coach of the Temple Owls. And here's a small one for you there, Greg. Paul Palmer was the running back for Temple and had about 240 yards, I think, rushing against the Hokies. It was kind of interesting that Temple won that game and ended up having to forfeit because Paul Palmer apparently had signed with an agent, and they made him forfeit the game.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah, definitely. And do you recall in your playing days, I guess maybe in your playing days, or at least since you've been broadcasting with Roth and Lays, that y'all have ever played in such a small facility like you're going to play at Old Dominion? That's really a glorified high school stadium.
No, other than doing the first game there at Foreman Field way back in the day. I mean, we played at City Stadium in Richmond. When I was playing, I actually played William & Mary there on a game. They called that the Tobacco Bowl way back in the day. But no, it's one of those things. You just have to just go where the schedule is, and I'm sure it was one of those setups that there was going to be one game down there, and it just happens to be this one.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, the turf is good, but this is not the amenities that Tech fans or Tech players or Tech coaches or Tech broadcasters are even going to be used to. It's a little bit old. They're trying to evolve, and we'll see what happens. So overall, you think good things ahead? Will it be tough to get 9 or 10 wins this year?
Depends on how well the defense comes along. I mean, I think it's going to be interesting to see, because the way Bud Foster's defense is set up, so much of the onus of the defense goes on your linebackers. And when you don't have a junior, don't have a senior, and you got a guy that's never played it down, it's going to be difficult. So I think if Dylan Rivers comes along and if Rayshard Ashby comes along, maybe they got a chance to do it. But, the defensive line losing Settle, so much of that is going to depend on how well those linebackers play. So it's kind of opposite last year, Greg. I thought last year that the offense was going to be not as good because you lost, obviously, Bucky Hodges. You lost Sam Rogers. You lost Isaiah Ford. You lost 2 offensive linemen. So I thought last year that the offense wasn't going to be as good and the defense was going to be better. This year the offense should be better. The defense probably is not going to be quite as good. So it'll be fun to watch and see how they go. And obviously having your specialist, your punter back certainly helps.
All right, Mike, we always leave us on a light note. People are traveling to Blacksburg or Roanoke this summer. What's a great tourist spot they should go up there and see? You can go up to the Cascade Falls and see the waterfall there in the summer. It's beautiful in the wintertime when it's frozen, but that's kind of something cool. There's a lot of hiking around here in Roanoke, outside of Roanoke, and
Yeah, it's a pretty cool place. The summer's beautiful here with the and obviously Clare Lake and Smith Mountain Lake are two good places as well.
Very good. Mike, all the best to you and the family and your job there. And I know you had a nice little break before football season, but it'll be here right around the corner.
Yeah, it will, Greg. No doubt about it. And look forward to catching up with you down the trail here sometime soon.
Very good. It was great seeing you, and I consider you a friend. Thank you so much, Mike.
You got it, buddy.
Thank you. All right, that was Mike Burnop right there, the radio analyst for the Virginia Tech Hokies for several decades, doing a great job over the years. Sports Scene will continue after these messages.
Ever felt as if life was creating a fog between you and God? Well, there's a treasure in the Shop with Praise store written by John MacArthur entitled None Other, Discovering the God of the Bible. It engages such topics as the character and nature of God, God's election of His children. It examines the question of why bad things happen to God's people. It's a read guaranteed to help lift the fog. So come on down to the Shop with Praise store or call 488-1010 for more information. That's Shop with Praise at 488-1010.
Sunrise Music Festival 2018, the largest inspirational music festival in Hampton Roads, featuring Lecrae, Danny Goki, Building 429, Unspoken, Citizen Way, Rhett Walker Band, Aaron Cole, Dan Brimness, and much more. Guest speaker Tom Henderson, emceed by Sean G. Park of TV One Life. Don't miss our Sunday sunrise worship service. Get your tickets today, including VIP tickets to meet the artists and to eat lunch with some of your favorite bands. Let's go to the 2018 Sunrise Music Festival, April 20th through 22nd at the Virginia Beach Oceanfront.
For tickets and more information, visit sunrisemen.org.
Good Italian food, daily specials, and a place people enjoy is Spaghetti-Etti's. Indulge in their mouth-watering pizza, pasta, subs, salads, appetizers, and desserts. Open 7 days a week. Log on to SpaghettiEtti'sPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Taylor Road in Chesapeake for lunch or dinner, and like them on Facebook. Italian food you can count on is Spaghetti-Etti's.
We're here early before they wake up. We stay late, we stay informed, we invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
We do this not because it's our job, but because this is about our veterans' lives. This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
You are listening to Sports Scene with Greg Bicouvaris. Now, back to Greg. It's now time for Greg's Highlights, presented by HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com.
All right, time now for highlights. GJBTV.com. Click the YouTube link for archive shows. Sports Scene is online on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Saturday morning on the radio on the Lighthouse, 100.1 FM, 1010 AM. TuneIn.com. Type in WPMH. Subscribe to Sports Scene on TuneIn via WPMH and also the YouTube channel GJB TV. gmail.com. Looking forward to seeing the movie Solo coming up and the Kingsmill Women's Golf Tournament coming up in May. That should be a lot of fun. HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. Browse, shop, visit, bookmark it. That's HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. Great resource for people moving into the area as well as locals and tourists too. Everything on one site. In addition to GJBTV.com and our Hampton Roads Sports Media, HRSMHOF.com. And our good friends at Sakura Japanese Restaurant, Sushi Bar. Go by and see Jasmine and the wonderful staff. They deliver through OrderUp.com. Excellent Japanese cuisine at 1437 Sam's Drive in Chesapeake. Give them a call at 410-4577. Open for lunch and dinner daily. Our question to Joe Daniel, presented by Buffalo Wild Wings and Newport News. Joe Daniel, this is the Lent Easter type season for Christians, people who are Christians like Orthodox like myself, Baptist, Episcopal, Lutheran. Isn't that confusing to the novice person new to religion? Like, if you're all Christian, why do you need so many denominations?
I think it's confusing even for those who are in it. A lot of people don't even know the differences between them just because there's so many denominations. It's hard to keep them all straight, but you're right. It is confusing. It's complicated. Why so many distinctions? I don't know. At one point, I like it because it allows some people who may not have otherwise become a Christian to actually find a place that they fit in. But it's also a division. You know, a lot of arguments get started, a lot of broken friendships or get started because broken churches, divisions in the church, because of just a difference of opinion of interpreting the Bible, and it just creates division. So I don't know, pros and cons, but yeah, it is complicated.
Very much so, absolutely. But the main thing is, at least they're discovering the religion this time of the year. That's the time to tend to discover it is during the Easter season, just like it is during the Christmas season.
Yes, absolutely.
Very good. Our friends at Buffalo Wild Wings and Newport News, great place for lunch and dinner, excellent appetizers, of course, salads, boneless traditional wings, great place for burgers. Watch the Final Four this weekend. Excellent wraps, sandwiches, tenders. They got a great rollout menu too with great specials, excellent beverages, desserts, a kids menu, all the games on TV, wings, beer, sports. Go by and see Paul and the wonderful staff, the general manager, that is, at Buffalo Wild Wings and Newport News at 12150 Jefferson Avenue, right next to Patrick Henry Mall. Get some great wings. Give them a call at 249-3999. Kick back with your friends at Buffalo Wild Wings and Newport News, next to Patrick Henry Mall. Stay tuned.
Teaching children to trust God through prayer and praying with them is not just our responsibility, it is one of life's great privileges. So writes Pastor Rick Warren, Christian author of the #1 New York Times bestseller, The Purpose-Driven Life. Pastor Warren has written a beautifully illustrated children's book entitled The Lord's Prayer, Words of Hope and Happiness. It's in the Shop with Praise bookstore now, so come on in and pick up your copy or call us at 488-1010. That's Shop with Praise at 488-1010.
Are you waking up with a damp, moldy, or mildew smell? Are you coughing all the time and blaming allergies? Over 30% of your household air comes from your crawl space. Schedule a free crawl space inspection and close your crawl space to prevent those microscopic allergens and spores in your household air. Install the Easy Breathe ventilation system talked about on The Gary Sullivan Show. Replacing that damp air with fresh, healthy air reduces allergens and other indoor toxins. To schedule your free inspection from the Crawl Space Company, call 757-394-3494.
Hi, I'm Brad Keselowski, driver of the number 22 Discount Tire Ford Mustang. When I'm racing, my crew chief sets my tire air pressure. If it's not just right, I can lose speed and grip. When it comes to your tires, you need to be the crew chief. Check your air pressure once a month and before road trips. Properly inflated tires help optimize safety, handling, and fuel economy.
A message from the U.S. Tire Manufacturers Association.
There's no doubt about it. There's no better feeling than being able to make someone's dream come true. Project 143 gives orphans the opportunity to leave their orphanage and visit an American host family. That could be your family. Each child's story and picture and more about hosting over Christmas or for a few weeks during the summer is available online at p143.org. There are 143 million orphans worldwide who need you. Consider hosting an orphan for a few weeks this year with Project 143. Find out more at p143.org.
Catch up on archived editions of Sports Scene by going to gjbtv.com and clicking the YouTube image on the homepage. Now back to Sports Scene with Greg Bicouvaris.
All right, back with Andy Cohen right here on Sports Scene every Saturday morning from 10 to 11. Andy, good to talk to you. We've had you on Sports Highlights. We've had you on Sports Scene as well several times, and you've been on the radio on several stations. Good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you, Greg.
Very good. Always a fun time of the year as we're getting near April and getting ready for a big event. Tell us about it.
Oh, man, we're excited this year. It is the 25th annual Tastefully Yours event. It's coming up on April 12th, which is a Thursday, and it runs from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Hampton Roads Convention Center, which is that big building with the sails in front of it in Hampton. We've got 35 restaurants. We've got 12 craft beers, plus other beers, wines, gaming tables, live music by the band Forte. And in the last 4 years alone, this event has raised enough to provide 2 million meals to our neighbors in need. We hope everybody can come out this year. Tickets are $50, and it is, at that price, a bargain, and what you're doing to help the community is just amazing.
Absolutely. It's truly a great regional event. And when you watch stuff like the Food Network, Andy, people from all over the East Coast come to this event now.
True. And why not? We've got tremendous participation from the restaurants, from the beer and wine distributors, and people have a great time and get to sample a lot of food that they might not otherwise get to sample.
Absolutely.
And it pays off for the restaurants as well. They come back year after year because they get new business out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a great networking event, too. You see people you haven't seen from high school or former employers or people, sometimes people you want to see, sometimes people you don't want to see, but regardless, it's still a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. There are people, it's like old home week. Every year get to see people who I might see just once a year.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, how has this event evolved? I mean, you found a home here at the convention center, but in the 25 years, it's been at different facilities, but this seems to be a great nucleus to melt both sides of the water.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we started at the old Holiday Inn in Hampton, and we outgrew that after about 5 or 6 years, moved over to the Hampton University Convocation Center. We outgrew that. We moved into the grand ballroom upstairs at the convention center, outgrew that. So now we're downstairs in Exhibit Hall C, where we've got more room. The lines move a lot quicker, and people have been really happy with it. We get 1,500 to 2,000 people each year, and everybody gets to eat, everybody gets to drink. We have lots of gaming tables, and it's just a really good time.
The organizing committee behind it, that's a lot of good volunteers as well.
Oh, yeah. And we've got, I've been involved all 25 years. Pat Freeman from BG Automotive, he's been involved for 25 years. We've got some people, Maria Owens, who's now retired from Bayport. She's been involved for over 20 years. So we've had a lot of people who have just continued to build this over the years. We built it from a few hundred people attending the first few years to now close to 2,000.
Unbelievable. Talk about how people can get tickets. Talk about the date again, the time of the event, and any social media you want to plug.
We are going to have the 25th annual Tastefully Yours. It's going to be Thursday, April 12th from 6 to 9 p.m. at Hampton Roads Convention Center. And you can get tickets. They sell them at Bayport Federal Credit Union offices. And also, probably the easiest way to do it is online at hrfoodbank.org. You go to hrfoodbank.org, and right on the website, it has a place where you can go to buy the tickets.
Very good. Andy, all the best. We'll talk to you again next week and look forward to getting more information on what exactly you're going to be serving there as well.
All right. Terrific. I thank you very much. And as Howard Cosell would say, Have yourself a magnificent day.
Very good. All right, always a treat, Andy. We will talk to you again next week, my friend.
All right. Thanks, Greg.
Thank you. Andy Cohen right there as well, right here on Sports Scene. Stay tuned.
Ready to grow in God? Well, Pastor Charles Stanley has a new Life Principles Bible available, offering clear introductions to all 66 books, highlighting God's promises, life principles, lessons, and examples to help you grow in the knowledge and understanding of God through His Word. It's in the Shop with Praise bookstore now for just $20. So come on in and pick up your copy, or just call us at 488-1010. That's the Shop with Praise bookstore at 488-1010.
Good Italian food, daily specials, and a place people enjoy is Spaghetti-Etti's. Indulge in their mouth-watering pizza, pasta, subs, salads, appetizers, and desserts. Open 7 days a week. Log on to SpaghettiEtti'sPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Taylor Road in Chesapeake for lunch or dinner, and like them on Facebook. Italian food you can count on is Spaghetti-Etti's.
We will never fully understand what we've asked of our military service members or their families, asking them to put themselves in harm's way, to endure it all. But we do understand that it's our turn, our duty, to keep them secure for the rest of their lives. Wounded Warrior Project long-term support programs help our most severely ill or injured veterans live independently, at no cost, for life, so that they might stand at ease. Join us at findwwp.org.
If you're looking for an Easter Sunday service, bring a blanket or chair to the 17th Street stage on the beach and worship with Virginia Beach United Methodist on Easter Sunday at 6:30 a.m. for their sunrise service. And if you're looking for a church home, visit one of Virginia Beach United Methodist's 3 services at 8 a.m., 9:30 a.m., or 11 a.m. They're located at 212 19th Street in Virginia Beach. For more information, call 757-428-7727 or log on to vbumc.org. Interact with Sports Scene on Twitter at Greg Bick. Email bicogb@hotmail.com. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris in the Hampton Roads OnlineMall.com studios.
All right, welcome back to Sports Scene. Our monthly feature is with Gina Ippolito from Smithfield VA.It. Gina, happy spring to you.
Happy spring, and hopefully in another day or so, we're actually going to feel like it is spring.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about what's coming up in April, a big event coming up on the 14th.
Yes, we have our 7th annual Smithfield VA Wine and Brew Fest, and it really means spring is here when it's time to start talking about that. So we have a great event. It is sold out. There's not a single ticket left for this, but we've got some great wineries and breweries and entertainment, and it's going to be just a great weekend.
Very good. Well, let's talk about what kind of food will be there and talk about what goes on behind the scenes to make this event happen.
Oh, all kinds of stuff goes on behind the scenes. We have about 350 volunteers who come out and work this event, and almost all of those, with the exception of about 30 or 40, come from various civic organizations or other type of local organizations that are based here in Smithfield and Isle of Wight. So it's a big production to put on an event. The event only lasts one day, but we spend a week setting up, and we spend about 3 or 4 days cleaning it all up afterwards. So, but it's going to be a good time. And you mentioned food vendors, and we are very excited this year. Q Daddy's Pitmaster Barbecue, which is a fairly new barbecue restaurant that is local here in Smithfield, is going to be one of our food vendors this year. And they will be coming out the gate with just some yummy stuff. They haven't released their menu yet, but they've got some surprises up their sleeves. So that is supposed to be out sometime this week. But, I know they're having barbecue, but they've got some other yummy taste bit things that they'll be serving, and I can't wait to see their menu. And then our local VFW, Post 8545, will be doing the other food vending, which they do these amazing brats, and they're going to have fish sandwiches and chips, and I think they're going to even do funnel cakes this year. So we have all kinds of yummy stuff going on.
Excellent. Talk about the hours, and the venue stays the same, of course, but for the people who've not listened, talk about the venue.
Yes, the event is Saturday, April 14th, and it is held at Windsor Castle Park in downtown Smithfield. And the park itself is 208 acres, but we hold our events on what they call the historic easement, which is got the original manor house that belonged to Arthur Smith, whose family came over from England and gave all the land to the town back in the 1700s. And so his original farm plantation home, which it's called the manor house, and barns, which are actually currently under a restoration project, is this part of the park that we use. And it's right on the banks of the Pagan River. The site is elevated up the hill from the main stage. So the main stage is at the bottom of the hill, and then there's all kinds of seating along this, elevated hill area. Then we've got a separate brew village and lots of tables and chalets, and a lot of people general admission folks bring their, sport chairs or blankets and sit on the hill, and it's just a beautiful day.
It sounds like it, too. Of course, you guys have 3 wonderful events a year. You spread them out very well. And, of course, it's a consistent venue. And there's something for everyone because the theme is different for each event.
It is. This one is our Wine and Brew Fest. So we feature the Virginia wineries and breweries along with, we do an international wine tent also. The fall event is held the first Saturday of October, and that is the Bacon Bourbon Beach Music Fest. And so everybody gets half a pound of bacon. There's a bacon condiment tent. There's a lot about bacon, but there's also a lot about bourbon. We do sell beer and wine at that event also. And then in January, on the Saturday of Martin Luther King weekend, we do what's called the Bob Festival. And that is Bloody Marys, oysters, barbecue, Brunswick stew. There's an 8K race prior to the event that you can run if you're crazy in January and one of those winter runners. But that's a lot of fun. The DeLoreans are the band for that one. That one's a little bit different than our other two because it's held underneath about 60,000 square feet of heated tent space, whereas our other 2 events are held out in the open section of the park along the river. So, yeah, there's something for everybody, and that's just kind of what we do in Smithfield. It's a nice place to come for the weekends for either our events or other things that go on in downtown Smithfield. So it's just a nice place to be. Very good. Leave us with some social media and any phone numbers people can get a hold of. Our website is www.smithfieldvaevents.com, and then from there you can click on whichever one of the 3 events you're interested in. Each of the events have a Facebook page, so it's Smithfield VA Wine and Brew Fest, or Smithfield VA Bacon Bourbon Fest, or Smithfield VA Bob Fest. And we also are getting into doing more Twittering, and we actually just started an Instagram page. So those are all Smithfield VA events. Very good. Very good. Look forward to it. April 14th. We'll save the date and look forward to talking to you there as well as next month, too. That would be great. We're looking forward to seeing you, and let's just get this warm weather coming. Yes, it's finally spring in Hampton Roads. Thank goodness. Yes. All right, Gina. Goodness. All the best to you, honey. Thank you. All right. Bye-bye. Bye. All right, Gina Ippolito right there from Smithfield VA Events. I want to thank our good friends at Charcoal Chicken Pollo a la Brasa, Charcoal Rotisserie Cook Peruvian-style chicken. Go by and see James and the staff. Give them a call at 486-5000. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Great menu items such as the whole chicken, the half chicken, the quarter-pound chicken. They've got great specialty items on the weekend as well, ceviche. They've got great chicken sandwiches, sides, kids menu, dessert, drinks. Like them on Facebook. That's Charcoal Chicken in the Lomans Plaza. Give them a call at 486-5000. No antibiotics, no added hormones, no preservatives ever. That's Charcoal Chicken Pollo a la Brasa, the only location in Hampton Roads.
What tees you off? Presented by HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com.
All right, now, one of our favorite segments. Of course, a lot of feedback from this. What tees me off right here on Sports Scene. Sports Scene's on every Saturday from 10 to 11 on 100.1 FM, The Lighthouse, 1010 AM. TuneIn.com, type in WPMH, at Greg Pick on Twitter. That's GREGBIC. Joe Daniel, this is what tees me off when you get these mail and bills and doctor stuff and dentist stuff. It says explanation of benefits. It's almost like they're trying to warn you for the doom and gloom of your actual bill coming.
They kind of preface it. They have to ease you into it a little bit. Yeah, absolutely. It helps, but it's also like so confusing to understand that stuff like that and go through. It's just so dense, and it's just tough to understand.
Right, and it has not evolved. It's like snail mail. It's like dial-up internet. People that still rely on mail like that to get their point across haven't evolved that much.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's weird seeing also advertisement or promotions. Like I'll receive like my local State Farm agent sent me a letter in the mail or something like that, and it's like, I don't know, it just seems strange to me. Like you said, it hasn't really evolved to the modern day, it seems.
I don't want that. I just want what my bill is. I'll pay it and go on. If I got a dispute, I'll call. But they all want a survey. How was it talking to Johnny and Susan from the credit card company? I'm like, really?
Take a quick 2-minute survey if we're a chance to win a $20 gift card for Amazon or something like that.
What are your thoughts about that?
Surveys? I don't know. Like I am okay expressing my opinion when it comes to surveys in itself, but I don't know, time and a place, it seems.
Yeah, they're asking too much for the consumer to do surveys. I mean, seriously, we've got other things better to do with our lives. Trust me. All right, how about this? People who send an email or state a fact without having any facts in the body of the email. Like this one person wrote on the line, big event coming up in April, and in the body of it, it said the same thing, but it mentioned March. So they actually weren't reading before what they said sent.
Oh, wow. So the subject line was completely different than what was actually in the dialogue box.
And
or
you
whatever.
can tell they didn't read it carefully because they just pressed send in a rush. You know how it is when you send an email in a rush.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you got to verify, make sure you're not contradicting yourself. Yeah, otherwise it's just, I don't know, unprofessional.
You got to have the facts. This is also unprofessional when you see somebody slobbering.
Oh, gosh. That's not even just unprofessional. That's inhuman.
Yeah, drool like they're excited or talking. We mentioned a few weeks ago saying it and spraying it, but if you're still drooling as an adult, you've got issues. I'm sorry. People telling you about parties they were invited to that obviously you weren't, but I don't want to hear about it because really I wasn't friends with them anyway, and this is just me, not just me, but anybody. But how about those people that say, well, I went to this big elaborate party?
Yeah.
Great. Why are you telling me?
Yeah, their nose is pretty up in the clouds when they do stuff like that, and their pinky is also up there.
Oh, the steak tartare was so good. All right. How about this bending down and picking up stuff a lot? You do that a lot as a parent.
Yeah, the worst thing is bending over to pick something up, and then for whatever reason, it slips out of your hand. Like you go to pick it up, and it slips out of your hand, and you have to just pick it back up. Instantly pops a spring in my brain. It just drives me nuts.
These college towns that take over cities with big buildings and neighborhoods. There's one school in my neighborhood, CNU, that wants to take over the local post office. That doesn't go too well with people that grew up there.
Yeah, traditions are important, you know, keeping stuff. I mean, I'm not a big tradition person, but I appreciate heritage, you know,
right,
and keeping that heritage alive.
Absolutely. How about this crowded rooms? Like you and I are producing the show in a nice radio studio. We don't have no studio audience here. It's just us doing the show live or taped.
Right, or crowded elevators where you're just, and it just, there's already maybe 15 people in the elevator, and then there's just that one guy who just has to get in, can't wait for the next elevator, or can't take the stairs to go up one floor. He needs to squeeze himself into that elevator. That's the worst.
Or the person breathing too hard or talking on the phone in the elevator while it goes from 1 to 2 to 3, whatever. A slow elevator too as well.
Talking on your phone in an improper place, like in the movie theater or something like that, or speaking loudly on your phone, as opposed to, like, you know, no one wants to hear your conversation. Take it privately. Step outside and be a little bit more respectful of other people.
Yeah, if I'm making a phone call, I'm going to go outside or go to my car where really it's nobody's business anyway.
Right.
Last thing that teases me off, when people put you on the spot, whether it's verbally confront you about something, make a phone call, a random thing, or random text, being put on the spot is alarming.
It's the worst. You get automatically flushed and you start getting nervous and you start flubbing up your words. Yeah, being on the spot is the worst. And there's just so much pressure there that everybody just looks at you for the answer. It's never good.
Right, whether it's a crowd or a small crowd too. Of course, you and I rehearse a lot of things too as well, but you can't rehearse life. Life just happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good. Also, I want to thank our good friends at Outback Steakhouse in Kempsville, Mike and the staff, spacious, nice dining area, bar, lunch and dinner daily, burgers, steaks, soups, salads, great appetizers, seafood, pasta, chicken, ribs, chops, desserts, beverages, dine-in or carry-out. Go by and see the wonderful staff at 1255 Fordham Drive in Virginia Beach. Give them a call at 523-4832 and go by and see Mike and the great staff at Outback Steakhouse. Excellent burgers, excellent steaks, great great spacious dining room, Outback Steakhouse in Kempsville. I want to thank all of our great guests today, Mike Burnop, as well as Andy Cohen and Gina Ippolito. Thank our great producer, Joe Daniel Gutierrez, as well. For more, go to gjbtv.com. Learn about my background. Go to gjbtv.com. Hit the YouTube link for great archived audio and video. At Greg Bick on Twitter, GregBic. Add me on Facebook as well, Greg Bicouvaris. For Joe Daniel, I'm Greg Bicouvaris. Thanks for listening to Sports Scene. We'll talk to you soon.